Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. Today's webinar is Launching Beyond Data Collection. I'll be your host. I'm Berit Johannesson, and today's presenter will be Ryan Coleman. Just some brief announcements here. We have 3 upcoming webinars. Our next webinar is on the 5 fundamentals of successful form building. My colleague John will be going through that and diving into really getting started with form building, but also making sure everyone's following best practices. Then on the 9th of February, we have 4 useful conditional value techniques. So for some of you who may have been building forms a little bit longer and have made use of the smart controls, that's a great webinar for you to attend to see some suggestions that we have using the conditional values. Then at the end of February, we have the data collection essentials for our project managers. Now, at this point, Ryan, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
Great, thanks so much, Berit. For those of you who are joining the call today, I looked at the attendee list before we got started, and we have a handful of brand new names and faces in terms of brand new to Zerion Software. We also have quite a few existing customers who have been with us for quite a few years. So I really want to, make sure that this is grounded in terms of what we're going to accomplish today. First and foremost, the evolution of Zerion Software. Our goal here is to really empower enterprise field teams to improve quality, compliance, safety, and accelerate better decision making. Everything that we do is going to contribute to allowing our customers to do each one of these things better. With that said, I really want to jump into the agenda for today. And by the end of today, I want all of us to be able to have a firm understanding of the big idea around Zerion. We'll be diving into that, and it's kind of our North Star for the next couple years in terms of where all of our development and all of our energy is going. I also want, because of the mixed audience, I want to make sure that we are firm in understanding exactly what Zerion is versus iFormBuilder and iForm, which some of you have been exposed to for quite a few years. I also want to dive into 5 expensive problems that are solved by Zerion. This is a great way for us to kind of paint how solutions are designed and developed, and just a snapshot of some of the use cases that groups are really leveraging in order to solve arguably very, very expensive problems within their organization. And then from there, I want to make sure that at the end of the webinar, you're able to identify ways that Zerion is able to accelerate what you're currently doing, or ways that you might be able to leverage some of the tools that exist within the Zerion platform and some of the services within the Zerion within Zerion in order for you to be able to drive a lot of your decision making in 2017. And then finally, what are those next steps? How can you leverage Zerion, and what are we going to be doing to join forces, either as a brand new customer of Zerion, what does that look like, as well as if you're an existing iFormBuilder customer and evolving into leveraging Zerion for much more going forward. How will those things how will we begin to work together?
Now, Ryan, you said that we have some attendees here who may be brand new. So with that in mind, would you mind actually, introducing yourself and telling people a little bit about you?
Yeah, I kind of forgot that one, Barrett. I appreciate that. So my name is Ryan Coleman. I'm Vice President of Sales here at Zerion Software, and I'm going into my 6th year here at Zerion Software, and have enjoyed it for quite some time. So with that said, any time that there's a question on, how do we leverage the platform, what if I have this problem we need solved, it's myself that can either, play quarterback and send you to one of our team members, or an account manager that can really, help answer those questions directly. So with that said, let's jump in here. I love this slide simply because it's a lot of the groups that we're working with are really being able to attach to this. And I'm going to read it to you. So companies do not have problems capturing massive amounts of data. They struggle with processing and making dynamic data valuable and useful. Zerion is the workflow automation platform, giving companies unmatched flexibility and security to process, aggregate, and transform data from any source and integrate with existing systems so mission critical decisions can be made as fast as possible. This is basically saying that over the years, even into the 40s and 50s, data has always been able to be captured, either on paper and pencil, on little sticky notes, on data that's going onto forms and then put into filing cabinets. Even back then, being able to process and make that data useful was the $1 million, the $100 million question. Where we are today, we've mastered the art of mobile data collection with our flagship product over the past 7 years. And every customer that we've talked to has had a problem with processing the data coming out of the data collection component of it, or being able to blend and combine data from multiple sources in order to make it useful along the way. So with that said, everything that we're going to go through here in the next couple slides are going to really articulate how we're able to solve this problem and some of the problems that we've identified along the way. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that the team here at Zerion is not looked at as just another vendor. We really are solving your problems today, but also looking into the future in terms of what's going to be happening and what are some of those issues and hurdles that you're going to need to get over in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now. And a lot of that is going to be around making sure that your data is accessible and ultimately your most valuable asset. So for those of you who have been around the block for a while, you've heard me talk at length about the SAMR model. For those that are new, what we've really focused on here is this is the evolution of a data collection or a workflow process. Most times groups are coming to the Zerion team and saying, I have this workflow, I have this Excel spreadsheet or this piece of paper, and I want to substitute it with a mobile application. That's fine. We're able to very simply take that workflow or that piece of paper and make it into the mobile app within the data collection tool. From there, we're able to augment that initial piece of paper. What I mean by augment is I'm able to add standard option list. I'm able to have conditional values or calculations performed directly on the device. This allows you to move up the value chain and really augment what you used to be able to do on paper. I love talking to customers and saying, hey, how do you take pictures on that old piece of paper? Simply being able to take pictures, add a subject line or a title or a description to that title or to that image, or being able to mark up that image is a huge value value proposition for groups simply to get their data into the device. This dotted line here, in years past, we used to say, hey, you substituted, you augmented your workflow. Now it's a matter of, hey, how do you modify and redefine this workflow? Traditionally, it was, hey, you need to create a custom web service where you need to leverage the API to allow for this integration to happen. And that required very heavy lifting on a development team, either internally or externally, or we would take on that work ourselves. In 2017, we're now able to have the modification and the redefinition of the original workflow. You're able to start with that piece of paper, it gets substituted within the data collector. You're able to really beef up your forms and how your field users are interacting with that data. Now, by adding the Zerion platform or the Zerion engine behind this, you're able to now modify and redefine the workflow that was previously known. This means that, for example, in a simple inspection, I'm able to collect the data. As soon as it gets submitted, I'm collecting the data on the device with or without the internet connection, as secure as possible. I have all the skip logic built into the form. And now once I submit the record, based on a series of conditions, I might notice that there's a failure rate that is above the threshold that we originally set forth. I'm now able to trigger an email for a manager to be able to follow up immediately. I'm modifying how that original task was done directly within the platform. Now let's just completely redefine this. And in real time, we have inspectors in the field collecting data, submitting that to the cloud, and then as soon as it hits the Zerion engine, you're now able to have that data appear on a dashboard for real-time status updates. You're able to have it immediately convert it into a PDF for you to be able to send to your customer in real time, as well as have all of these notifications and email alerts along the way. All of this is happening directly within the Zerion platform, and it's just a matter of you thinking through and configuring your desired outcome and your desired workflow. So with that said, I wanted to make sure that there's a firm line in the sand in terms of where we are with iFormBuilder and Zerion. If you're an existing iFormBuilder customer, or if you're brand new to Zerion, iFormBuilder was our flagship product for 7+ years. It is still a driving force of the Zerion customer base, and it is the data collection component of who we are and what we do. What we always used to say is that you collect data and we'll draw the line in the sand and say, we're going to give you your data in as many consumable formats. And when we say as many consumable formats, it's as an Excel spreadsheet, as list view, map view, graph views, everything that you could possibly need to consume that data, we're going to provide it to you. But then it's up to you to do something with it. In the Zerion platform, everything is in one ecosystem. You're going to have your data collection, your DataFlow Automation, your reporting, your alerts, your analytics, and everything built into one single function, as well as being able to connect with other external systems and tools if necessary. If you are an existing iFormBuilder customer, it is a matter of you being able to continue to collect data on your iFormBuilder application and simply being able to plug into the Zerion solution. In other words, it is an upgrade and an add-on service that you're able to now leverage all of these different tools and take full advantage of the Zerion services that are at bay. If you are coming on as a brand new customer, it is a matter of everything being contained into that one single ecosystem, and you're able to have this flow harmoniously. This is a key distinction. I want to make sure that this is known because on January 9th of 2017, we really focused on eliminating the iFormBuilder website. This does not mean that the iFormBuilder, the product, is gone. This is a matter of us driving our marketing engine towards the future of where we are and where we're going, and that being Zerion Software. So if there's any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to jump on a call and really discuss what that looks like. It should also be noted that the iFormBuilder platform is only available through partners right now. New customers, direct customers, will be on the Zerion platform.
So just to be clear, if I'm a current iFormBuilder customer and I want to start using Zerion, I don't have this whole environment. I still have my iFormBuilder environment, or can I have my iFormBuilder go into Zerion?
Exactly, Barrett. So the iFormBuilder, you're going to collect your data on iFormBuilder. However, you're able to leverage a post function to put your data that's collected in the field directly into Zerion. And then from there, you're able to leverage the DataFlow Automation and the reporting. We're going to be covering that a little bit more here in a few minutes. So one of the big things I want to focus on here is Zerion Software builds software that solves expensive problems. This has been a foundation of what we do and who we are. We work with our customers. We learn from our customers. We also experience what their pitfalls are in terms of what their current workflows or how they're doing business, and we're able to design and build solutions that solve those problems. So over the next couple slides here, I want us to just explore a handful of what those expensive problems are. Something that we hear so often is that groups have have to wait a very long period of time in order to access data that's coming out of the field. They need to standardize the way that they're able to monitor, their projects, or they need real-time visibility. Think of this as I'm filling out paperwork in the field, and it's taking anywhere from 2, 3, 4 weeks. I remember working with an agriculture group that was waiting upwards of 6 months in order for all of their data from a growing season, to be made available. This is now one of the big problems that we do solve, and we have a global customer that has been able to basically track and monitor their installation and reduce their expenses by almost 30% at a global scale. This is a massive return on investment, simply because their field teams are able to leverage the inspection checklist and immediately be able to report on that and see exactly what's happening every hour of the day. Even when they're collecting data offline, as soon as they come online, this is all going through a very complex structure in order for them to be able to see reporting at the granular level, but then also at the regional or department level, regional, as well as country level. Extremely valuable for them to be able to have access to real time, but also have access to the real time analytics and reporting on the success of those projects. Great. And we also have our second very expensive problem here is being able to consume data from multiple data sources. Traditionally, when users would collect data on, say, the iForm app or on their our application, it was a matter of them being able to answer all the information. They might have some metadata that's happening in the back end, but some of these problems, especially in this new world of precision agriculture, groups want to be able to see what's happening on the data that they're collecting in the field, but also being able to combine it with GIS data or weather data or crop yields or storage locations or what their transportation costs are. And all of these different data sources make it very cumbersome for decision makers to really have access to the data that they need at the time that they need in the format that they need. And one of the things that we've been really focusing on is we have a project that we've been exploring right now where you have data coming from many different sources. And within the Zerion DataFlow Automation tool, you have data coming in from multiple sources. It's being filtered, aggregated, and transformed into a single record set. And then based on that record set, additional groups, either the research report or the compliance report, or even government compliance, is able to basically bring their own subset or their own record set out of the master version and being able to produce integrated workflows. In other words, they're able to have all the data be blended together, shaped appropriately, and then each individual group or department or the R&D office is able to now build their own record sets off of the new data set. Again, this is very powerful. Looks oversimplified by this little graph, but at the same time, under the hood, it's creating a ton of value for these organizations. Same type of customer is now leveraging the ability to collect data from the field and immediately have it integrated and flattened into their SQL Server, where then they have their own enterprise reporting tool that's offering up real-time information about the crop yields and soil samples and what's happening on the in the fields of over 15 countries. Again, very powerful use case for them to be able to dive into. We hear this all the time, workplace safety. I have a customer that says, I can't put a price tag on what this means to us, especially if we're able to see tangible results. And any type of an accident, a slip fall, a more dangerous accident of somebody being burned or something else happening that could ultimately end in a fatality. This one customer says an average accident costs the company between $40,000 and $250,000. This is an incredible return on their investment if they're able to prevent just one simple slip or fall or one single accident. What we've been working with and evolving is this concept of a see something, say something observation method. And the framework here is if we can have 1 million observations in the field, ad hoc safety observations in the field, we're going to prevent 300,000 at-risk behaviors. And then if we can prevent those 300,000 at-risk behaviors, we're going to prevent 3,000 near misses. And if we can prevent 3,000 near misses, we're going to have 300 avoidable recordable injuries, which means that there's 30 lost work days that are going to be removed, and ultimately one for every million observations, we are preventing one fatality within our organization. Now, that may not be relevant to all of the organizations that are on the call right now, but this is a very big initiative that starts at the top and is threaded throughout the entire organization. Being able to now feed in this information and ultimately create different types of work orders, so that you're identifying an unsafe environment, but also how quickly and how efficiently are we actually going and correcting, either through training or if there's a dangerous, I guess a railing that's loose or something else that could cause injury. How quickly are we actually solving those problems? This is an expensive problem that we've been able to work with organizations and hospitals and also in the ag space to be able to design these these end-to-end data collection, data flow automation, where they're processing tons of data, but also serving up different types of workflows along the way. Regulatory compliance is a very expensive problem for our customers. This is just a quick snapshot. Groups within Southern California were being charged each on a per hospital basis anywhere from $28,000 to $100,000 for each for failing to basically meet the policies within their system. This ultimately led to about $1 million worth of fines system wide. What we've been able to do is leverage, yes, the data collection on the floors, but also with some reporting components. One, to make sure that the machinery actually being processed or are maintained and updated appropriately, but also being able to watch everything from hand washing, sanitation to our procedures going against protocol. They've really adopted the checklist manifesto and realized the checklist manifesto through the Zerion workflow engine. Again, collecting data from the field and then immediately being able to report upon that, and also trigger different types of alerts in the event that certain conditions are met. Food quality recalls. I think all of us have been impacted at some point here, but when a couple years ago, I guess we're already at a year ago, when Chipotle had the E. coli outbreak, yes, 52 people were sickened by the E. coli. It ultimately cost the company about $3 billion in valuation over that period of time. A very expensive problem. We have global food customers that play in fast food and a few other markets, and they're implementing basically these food safety programs, everything from checklist, from cleanliness to protocol to making sure that their fryers and their machinery is up to date. This ultimately is preventing one single outbreak because they're also able to identify if a failure occurs and also be able to start seeing trends on regions or useful life of certain details. And they're implementing different types of barcoding on the food packages within stores, within the local, the regional, the state level, the country level. They're now able to see roll-up reporting in real time across many different KPIs. Again, a really expensive problem that is able to be solved throughout the entire Zerion application. So I want to make sure that through all of these, one of the things that's the common thread or the steel thread throughout this entire process is that your data is your most valuable asset. And it's our team here at Zerion's job to help you realize what value is actually in the data that you have or the data that you're able to go out and collect and receive to make sense of. This here is another pillar of who we are and what we do. To revisit this, we work with global companies around the world and solve quality, safety, compliance, and ultimately help their decision makers make better decisions. This is just a quick snapshot, not to flex our muscles, but to show that there is a very scalable platform here that is able to solve many problems in a generic sense or a universal sense that can be tailored to meet the workflow needs of each one of these types of customers.
So just off of that, Ryan, you went through these 5 different scenarios, rather expensive scenarios that Zerion can help save, and Zerion is available for customers to have. Now, if I'm interested in doing this and using Zerion, is this something that the Zerion teams able to assist me with, or do they build it themselves, or do I have the opportunity to learn the software and build as well?
Great. So one of our foundations here, or pillars within the Zerion team, is that we want to make all of our customers as wildly successful as possible. We understand that there are learning curves along the way, so we do build the software for users who have the capabilities and the technical acumen to be able to jump in and use and design and build their own solutions. However, there is a learning curve. As with any new software, we're going to be along the way to help train and teach you. In the event that it's something that you would like the expertise of the Zerion team to help solve, we have the professional services and the implementation teams in place to be able to take you from soup to nuts, discover exactly what needs to happen, and then more importantly, be able to design solutions that help you meet your goals and also is well within our wheelhouse from a technical side.
Great. And I know that we do have some individuals who haven't been a part of the Zerion culture for very long. So they may not know that even the CEO, he thinks that everyone should be able to learn. And learning is a huge part of everyone's growth and becoming a better person. So I'm glad that we were able to touch upon that too.
Correct. And to mimic that, over the years, we've seen some dramatic improvements from we've learned so much from the customers who have actually spent the time, gone through the training, have really embraced the platform as a whole, and then ultimately are doing these amazing integrations or incredible workflows based on their own ideas and their own subject matter expertise. And that's something else that we are great at building software that solves these problems. The interesting thing is that it's the experts who are coming to us with these problems that know exactly how it needs to be configured or certain functionality that needs to exist within the platform. So it's definitely something that we pride ourselves on being able to work with you as that technology partner looking forward. So with that said, I've spent a considerable amount of time diving into some of the problems that we were able to solve. I want to just jump into a little bit of the nitty gritty here. This is not a how-to webinar by any means. This is a matter of us really shaping and having a firm understanding of where we're headed. So Zerion Software provides you and your field teams the ability to have the tools to get work done. And it starts with data collection. That's going to be being able to use your mobile devices to collect data and to create different types of workflows. And then once that data is collected, it's then a matter of you being able to process that data. Within the DataFlow Automation engine, you're able to filter, filter, aggregate, and transform your data in any way that you could possibly imagine, and ultimately create that data to create record sets that you can put that data into action. And then we have reports and documents built into the platform as well. And by combining one or all of these different services, you're able to create some incredible value and workflow. Again, your mission and what we're driving each and every one of our customers to do is, collect data. Yes, you can collect the data, but every one of you are asking, well, now what? What do I do with this data once I collect it? Do I need a deliverable to my customer? Do I need to be able to make sense and see trends over time? Do I need to be able to make insights? And this is kind of the progression. You can collect data. You're able to process that data and analyze the data. You're able to leverage the reports to gain insight in terms of the data that's coming from the field, combined with any other type of data source, as well as ultimately be able to make better decisions on the data itself. So as we dive into this, how it works is through the three of these components: data collection, data flow automation, and the integration and reporting engines with our actions. You first can start with the data collection. These are forms. You're able to build those forms through the form builder, add the skip logic, business rules, or calculations that you need. It is ultimately, it's very secure. It's being used in different types of healthcare and HIPAA compliant solutions. It's also, you're able to collect the data with or without the internet connection. And one of the most overlooked features over the past couple of years has been the actual ability for you to dispatch and put the data into motion, which is something that we see just in the past, say, 6 months, really been a determining factor in terms of how people are able to send data in and out of the field. And then once you collect this data, again, with or without an internet connection, you get back to a connected environment. It's then a matter of submitting that record. Based on conditions or what your desired workflow is, you send it into the DataFlow Automation engine. And then from the DataFlow Automation engine, you're able to filter and create separate record sets. You're able to transform that data. You're able to aggregate that data or blend the data, shape the data. And once it's to the format that you want, you're then able to send those data or that data and that record set into various types of actions. And those actions can run in many different flavors, either through generating documents, creating dashboards, integration with other ERP systems or SQL servers. You can also leverage an API based on those details to send it into other third-party tools. Integration directly into Esri or Tableau or whatever else you have going on in the background. And it's this integration and this reporting action section that is going to be constantly evolving over the years. Based on the problems that are brought to us and how we help you solve them, we're going to be productizing more and more as we go. So by combining this wheel, one or many of these types of services, you're going to be able to design some pretty awesome workflows for yourself. One of the final pillars that I really want to talk to all of you about is our approach towards reporting. And it is a foundation that the entire BI industry goes about this in a very different way. It's a matter of, hey, we have data, we need to process this data and be able to now report upon it. What we're saying is that everyone doesn't have a reporting problem. They ultimately have a data processing problem. All the actual BI tools should need to do is just visualize the data. It should already be polished and processed and formatted in such a way, and also be able to perform aggregates or year over year, month over month kind of work, and that should all happen in the data flow automation of that processing engine, and then just serve up the visualization as needed. As questions come up or as certain levels of the organization need to see certain access to certain data. So everything that we're doing is designing along this kind of fundamental philosophy that we don't have a reporting problem. You have a data processing problem, and we're going to help you do that and also set the stage for you to be able to have a pathway into the future. As structured data needs to be normalized, you're going to be able to do that within the platform. As you need to start handling different types of unstructured data as a whole, you're going to have the fundamental or the foundation in place in order for you to grow from there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 5 years down the road. And just a quick snapshot for those that are new on the platform. The data collection platform itself allows you to have advanced form building. It allows you to have unmatched security, offline enabled. Every record that's submitted also has metadata attached to it, so it's going to be your time and date stamp, your user information, latitude, longitude, altitude, speed, and compass direction. You're able to white label this so that you can make for easier distribution throughout your company and make sure you have your own branding on top of that. Again, everything starts with the field user in mind, but we're acknowledging the fact that there's a lot of back-end processes and people that enable and that definitely enable what the field users are able and capable of doing. From the DataFlow automation, this is just a quick snapshot. I got 2 slides here just to show once you submit the record from the field, data is coming into a webhook or directly from the Zerion data collection application. And now it's a matter of you telling what needs to happen. So a simple, pass-fail use case, you're able to have data come in and then it's immediately, pass-fail. Based on, say, a brand name or whatever it might be, you're able to now design your workflow however you see fit. From there, we're also able to, I'm revisiting that ag scenario where multiple data sources from a single project are coming together and ultimately being combined into a single record set. And then based on this, depending on the group or the group's need, they're able to see the data along the way and shaped how they need to see it, including or including certain fields, not including certain fields, or transformed or aggregated based on their needs.
And I think this is really powerful because, I mean, we've heard, as you mentioned, for years that so many people are spending too much time on the post-data cleansing side of things. And so this is taking that cleanse, but it's also not just taking data from iFormBuilder and cleansing it, it's taking data from all these other sources and then having these actions occur. So I think this is a really powerful slide here.
Thanks, Barrett. And I want to just define these actions a little bit better. So an action is processed data that is made available as a record set, and then from there you enable the action to be integrated, distributed, routed between either other Zerion services or external applications. So once you get your record set polished to the point that it's relevant, as new data comes in, that record set's going to be constantly be updated. And once certain conditions are met, or certain notifications need to be sent, or different integrations need to happen, all of that is able to happen based on those triggers. And all of that is fully configurable within the Zerion application. From here, we do have many groups do have enterprise-wide BI or reporting tools. However, there's often teams that are in place, and it's very timely or cumbersome. We do have a built-in engine directly in the platform for us to be able to solve simple reporting problems, or even for you to just be able to have a high-level visibility of the data that's coming out of the field. Again, very important for groups to be able to jump in and understand exactly what's coming along the way. And with that as well, it's one thing for you to have a dashboard. It's another for you to, I need my data to be, immediately formatted to be a deliverable to my customer. We're able to basically collect the data from the field, have it be processed, and then immediately map to either a pre-ordered form, or to a government document, or whatever it is that you have as your deliverable. And again, this is something that is built into the Zerion platform, something that you're able to take advantage of along the way. So with that said, nothing here happens without a conversation. With that said, I want to make sure that if you're brand new to the platform, I want you to request a demo. Once you request a demo directly from ZerionSoftware.com, you're going to be going into motion. We'll hold a quick discovery call, make sure we understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish, and then we're going to tailor a demo to meet your needs so that you can understand exactly what's happening. Or you can reach directly out to sales@ZerionSoftware.com, or directly to myself here at the end. More than happy to kind of learn a little bit more about what you're trying to accomplish, and then we're going to be able to dive in a little deeper. One of the other things that I want to articulate is, and I don't do it often enough, is that it's the team at Zerion that actually makes all of this happen. Working with each one of our customers, we learn for what needs to be built into the future, but also what problems are happening along the way, what forms need to be built, what different types of trainings need to be offered, or certifications, or capacity needs to be built. And we are a very tight-knit, agile team that serves some pretty awesome customers that you've seen, and solves some pretty awesome problems along the way. It's just now a matter of you being able to trust us on that next evolution of where you're going. And for today, I really wanted you to understand that our big idea is that we want to solve yes, your data collection problems today, but also your data processing and your reporting and your workflow problems of tomorrow. And as soon as we're able to hear them, the better off we're going to be. We're also in the process of just finally establishing a more formalized partner program. And the partner program is allowing and enabling groups to leverage our tools to be able to go to market and save, take advantage of either the time savings or the efficiencies gained, and also be able to design solutions for their customers. So if there's anybody that's interested there, I'd be more than happy to kind of address those questions along the way and see if what makes the most sense. So thank you so much for spending the past half hour with me. Again, I wanted to make sure that we were able to talk through the big idea. They understood what was happening with iFormBuilder and Zerion as a whole. They understood that expensive problems come at a cost, and that right here within the Zerion platform, we're able to solve quite a few of those problems. And then ultimately that we're here to help. And it's a matter of us being able to learn more about what you're trying to accomplish, and then either educating you or ourselves on the best way for the tool to be, or the platform to be designed in order to meet or exceed those needs. Finally, my contact information is front and center here on the screen. I'd love to hear from all of you about what's happening. If you're an existing customer, I will be having my account managers reach out to you because we've learned a lot over the past year, and we've also learned how to work with our existing customer base to allow them to have full advantage of the Zerion platform without jeopardizing their existing deployments. And this is a huge opportunity for us to take your ROI to places we've never even seen. So if there's any other questions, Barrett, I'd love to address them. If not, I'll turn this back over to you.
Now, would you feel comfortable talking about the pricing?
Sure, I would. So a couple things. I should have actually put a pricing slide in here. On the pricing, within Zerion Software, if you're brand new to Zerion Software, what we've established is that you get access to the data collection, the DataFlow Automation, and the reporting, and it is $35 per user per month. We do have a minimum of 10 users to get involved, and understandably, there is a learning curve for you, and we want to make sure that you have all the training required for you to be up to speed. So we do have basically two flavors. We have a starter plan and then an enterprise plan for you to be able to begin to scale and grow. At every step along the way, each one of our plans includes the same exact technology that is always going to be evolving. It's just then a matter of, as you add additional users, that pricing will start to go down. So that's if you're a brand new customer, it's $35 per user per month, and you're able to scale as needed. If you're an existing customer within iFormBuilder, you have your mobile data collection component already taken care of. It's now a matter of you being able to take full advantage of the DataFlow automation and the reporting, or the integrations that we've already put into motion. From there, it's a matter of it's not a user that you're most concerned about. It's now a matter of you being able to add. It's now a matter of you being able to add the capacity, and along with that, you have your user license allows for access to the data flow and access to the reporting as needed. So, in other words, you're going to buy that initial set of licenses, which would include the same amount of data flows. And then if you need to expand your data flows, it's simply a matter of you being able to add either data flows a la carte or add additional users, whichever makes the most sense. And again, we're going to help you grow and design your plan accordingly. All this is readily available on the ZerionSoftware.com/pricing page. And of course, there's outliers and massive organizations that we need to work with. Let's talk through what a Zerion deployment looks like, and we'll make it make sense along the way.
And Ryan, there were a couple questions coming in, and one was recently about training and support resources. And I do want to share with everybody, we are going to be launching more webinars that are Zerion solution specific, meaning that we'll go into data flow automation, we'll go into reporting, as well as Zerion identity management. And as we continue to build Zerion, we'll continue to build those webinar topics. Additionally, we've already added some articles and videos about these different products or different platforms and workflows within our Customer Success Center. And everybody who has a Customer Success Center login can actually access those videos as well as those articles. So I do want to make sure that everyone knows that you are going to be completely supported. One thing I didn't mention is our onboarding process. With purchasing Zerion, you get our onboarding. And with the onboarding, you have a customer success manager who stays with you and works with you during the first portion of you're using Zerion. And they also assist you with scheduling training so that you're getting training on all the different Zerion products, and gives you access to Zerion Academy, our new learning management system, which gives you additional resources besides what we have within the Customer Success Center.
Now that's great, Barrett. And with that said, I want to thank all of you for joining us here for the past 45 minutes or so. I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you. And with that, I'm going to end the webinar. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your week.